It starts up on my end. Yep. Oh, that was a good sandwich. Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I got you. You're coming in right now. Yeah, I got on my end, Eric. I got the YouTube stream on my end.
Oh, no, you're not gonna eat. You're not gonna eat. You're not gonna
A
eat.
sandwich.
But you're eating. It doesn't mean a sandwich or a manwich. It doesn't matter. You're eating. Okay. What's up, Eric? Am I missing? Hey, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Okay, do what you do.
We have Chris and Chuck in the waiting room, Eric.
Oh, Chris is in the way. Good, man. All right. Oh, did he ever get back to you? Or? Oh, I guess he figured it out.
We need help with. Talk to me.
Need help with what?
I'm talking to Eric.
Oh. Who did you say was in the waiting room, Kyle?
Hmm?
Chris, and who was in the waiting room?
Chuck just left, but
Chuck just left.
yeah, he'll come back. I got Chris right now.
Oh, Chris. Hey, man, Chuck is really a trooper, man. You know, it's 9 something there, and you know he's in. I think he's older than me. Chuck may be pushing into the. I'm 74. Chuck may be coming up to. He's knocking on the door at 80, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long.
I got Dennis in the loop here.
I'm sorry. Oh,
I got Dennis in the waiting room.
well,
Uh-oh. That's not good.
were you able to tell him hello, Kyle? They're in the waiting room.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him we'll meet you guys in the meeting shortly.
Oh, cool. At least then I just sitting there wondering. What is that you're eating, Kyle? It looks like a huge chocolate bar.
It's a double fudge cookie
Whoa.
from EG's.
Eggs is eggs. It's not ages.
What do you need, Eric? You need help or something? You need me to do anything? No.
Mm.
Oh crap.
What's up?
We have live voice audio on the stream right now.
We have
We have live voice audio on the stream right now. Testing.
Testing 1, 2, 3. That was me.
Guys, welcome to Live with Kyle and Alex. Alex, what is going on in this beautiful Friday evening?
I tell you, Tucson is going on. I mean, Tucson, it is so hot here. It is crazy. I had to stay locked up in here. I couldn't go outside today. When I tried to go somewhere. I opened the door and slammed the door right away. And said, when the sun goes down, I might go out there. But other than that, I'm actually trying to move to Kuala Lumpur. It's crazy here, but it's nice outside of the summer. What's going on over there with you, Kyle?
Let me tell you what's going on. Donald Trump's Mike Pence has been vice president in Tucson last week. He talked to Governor Doug Ducey as well as the American Southern Arizona Officer Association. And then Trump just said he'll be back in Yuma on Tuesday for his big wall celebration.
Oh, okay. But hey, so
Alex, AMC is opening almost over 100 theaters now, starting here pretty soon. And tickets for movies, 15 cents opening day.
Oh, come on, Kyle.
Pretty incredible.
Are you serious? So, does this mean that we're gonna be going to the movies lately? And I think our guests tonight will be happy about the movie theaters opening. Tonight, I tell you, we have a special show. This show tonight is really dear to my heart. It's a special tribute to Stephen J. Cannell, who created a gazillion television shows, and he wrote novels, executive produced TV shows, movies. Stephen J. Cannell, he just all around man. When he passed away, it'll be next month will be 10 years, and this show is really a tribute to him. And we have we have one of his best friends and producers that produced with him, wrote with him, acting with him, Mr. Chuck Bowman.
Hello.
With us tonight, Chuck. Good to see you
buddy.
after so long.
Thank
God bless you. And we have Dennis Danger Madelone, who also worked with the Stephen J. Cannell and stunt coordinator. And we have also the star of one of Stephen J. Cannell's great television series, Greatest American Hero, Mr. William Catt. All right. And we also have a stuntman extraordinaire who also I have the stuntman Dennis. Every time I say stuntman, I think of Dennis. The stuntman I work with on 10 Speed and Brown Shoe, and we had an incident in the stunt car one time on 10 Speed and Brown Shoe that I want Chris to tell you about. Mr. Chris Doyle, he's with us. I don't seem to see a picture of him up here where his face went, but he's here somewhere, folks. We're going to form a posse and chase him down. We'll find him for you. Okay, that's the show. We really got to pay a tribute to Mr. Stephen J. Cannell. And okay, can we start with Chuck Bowman here and just say thank you for being here, man. You not only work with Stephen J. Cannell, but you grew up with him. How did you guys meet?
We met actually at KTLA in Los Angeles. I was a news reporter, and Stephen was an associate producer on a game show called Seven Keys that was off network with Jack Nars. And he worked for a couple of women producers, and he was kind of a gopher. And somehow we connected somewhere on the lot. We started talking about dream making, and we started there. I mean,
Wow.
there are so many stories that I could relate to you from those early conversations that Steve and I had.
Yeah, we definitely want to get into those here in a minute also, too. You know, so hey, so also I want to get back to you for a second here, but hey, William Catt here. But how was it working with Stephen starring in his Greatest American Hero? That was quite a show too. That was great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fine.
Okay. It was great, and the association and friendships I made on that show, along with Dennis and Chuck and Rob, his son, was working on that show for a time, and we made some great friendships, and they endure to this day.
Exactly. Yeah, Rob's, who is Chuck Bowman's son, Rob Bowman, who's a director, writer, producer, everything in his own right. He's directed quite a few films. I remember Chuck, your son Rob, he directed one of those X-Files movies or something. Was it more than one? Because he was
he directed a bunch of them and became an executive producer along with Chris Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But let me just interject here, not to cut Chuck off, but you know, if you look at the business as a whole, the tribe of people who came out of the Cannell organization, it grew exponentially. Everybody is all over the business now, right, Chuck?
That's right.
Bless you for saying that, William. That is so true. The Cannell organization, there would be no business without the Cannell organization.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
I've got a little addendum to that, and that is that our son Stephen was named after Stephen, and he is now a post-production producer in television. So I got two boys that have remained in the business, thanks initially to Stephen J. Cannell.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
Dennis Danger Madelone was in Stephen Cannell organization, which was amazing. So how you doing over there, Dennis? I know some of your stunts were like kind of amazing.
I remember when I got the script of The Greatest American Hero, I was reading it on the beach, the pilot, and it was like, put on a super suit and crash into everything. It's like a dream come true.
Yes.
I couldn't
like The
believe
Incredibles.
it. And I remember saying, man, I don't want to just coordinate the show. I want to double this guy. I hope they get a guy with brown hair and the whole deal. And they end up getting William Catt with blonde hair. And I pretty much didn't look much like him. Yeah. But, they put a great wig on me, and it worked out great. And, it was a blessing because Steve put so many friendships that became friendships forever, for life.
Forever.
Just put a team together that keeps growing and spreading. And that's what being by his side or being on his set. It was fun to create and do all that crazy stuff. But it was the gift of us being together today. Chuck, and Chris, and William, and 1,000 other people that are spread out everywhere. It's a launch from Stephen's camp, and he was taken in. I mean, I was only like 19 years old when I was running a show for him. So he took in that great young energy, and he liked that. I think he liked that around him.
Baba Black Sheep, I might mention here, Dennis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look, when you stop and think about how great and how super and beautiful a person is you can always remember the first time you ever saw them. And then you know there's someone special. And mine was, I already worked on the show for Baba Black Sheep, the pilot. I was 19 years old. I took all my stunt buddies from the gym and we did this crazy fight. And I didn't get to meet Steve yet. And suddenly I was on the Universal Studios stage 27 and I was with Robert Conrad, and the doors kicked open on the stage and in walked Stephen J. Cannell. I never knew what he looked like or who he was. And there he was, big smile, happy energy. He looked like he was 7 feet tall and he was floating in the air because his happiness. And I remember Bob said, "This is Dennis. He did the fight and he's coordinating the show." Oh, and Steve was so lit up and, oh, it was great. And, oh, on the punches and, and so I'll never forget the moment you meet somebody with a golden heart. And that's how you can, know who the gifts are in life, is when you meet them for the first time and you never forget it.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I know you crashed into everything and got hit by cars, thrown out of planes and everything for William Cat.
It's funny about that. I didn't know who they were going to cast, and I was in the production office when William Cat walked by Alex Beaton's office, one of Stephen's best friends and producer. And William Cat walked by, and Alex said, "That's your actor." And I looked at Alex. I said, "Are you going to put a brown long hair wig on him?" And Alex says, "Get with it. Get real. You're going to cut your hair and make it blonde." And so I ran out to meet William Cat, and I'll never forget catching him in the hallway. And I said, "I'm Dennis Malone, and I'm your stunt coordinator." And William looked at me, and he goes, "My double is Buddy Joe Hooker." And he started walking away, and I yelled to him, "Not anymore, buddy. I'm doubling you." And that's it.
Dennis.
Yep.
Goodness. Yeah, I imagine, Chuck, all of the stuff you've done, the shows you've worked on and produced also. I mean, you must have a ton of stories. I want to ask you about what was the circumstances of the first show I worked on with Stephen. It was 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. What was the circumstances, how that was created? How was that created, to your knowledge?
It's interesting, Stephen's creative mind.
Yes, very creative.
It goes from Baba Black Sheep to Greatest American Hero to 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. And they're all completely different from the others.
Yes.
And Stephen was magic when you sit down at that IBM Selectric. And by the way, there's probably still a couple of closets full of IBM Selectrics that Stephen gathered over the years.
I bet.
But there was something special about, him when he started seeing and hearing these lead characters. I mean, Bill and Bobby Culp and certainly Jeff Goldblum,
right,
and
Vereen. Yeah, these were fascinating individuals, and when you put them together, they were always fascinating. I remember so many times sitting on the music stage, and in would come Ben, and then Jeff would come in, and those two guys would alternate at the piano doing music. And it was especially effective when Jeff was playing because Ben would dance. He would dance all over the place. And you never got tired of watching these guys when they weren't working, because they were still working. They were still exhibiting their great talents, their God-given talents. And I wish we'd had more time with Ben and Jeff in those days. It was quite a whirlwind sometimes with Ben, as you probably remember.
Yeah, absolutely remember. Sure.
There was a moment when we were on 10 Speed. We were around doing about the 9th episode, and we were at Raleigh Studios. No, we were.
Yeah.
I forgot what studios it was, but the word was go to the stage. There's a guy there taking your sizes for 10 speed and brown shoe jackets, and they're brown and they're really cool looking. And so I get in line and I give him my size, and Steven walks in. And he walks in, with that same amazing energy, like he's floating on the air. And he walks up to the guy, and Steven says, "I'm a extra large or something." And the guy goes, "Who are you?" And Steven got quiet and he goes, "I'm the guy paying for the jackets." He had to be there because the guy almost turned white. He goes, "Oh, sorry."
I know he took his sizes right away, and maybe I bet he
man. But you had to be there because it was like, Steven's so happy, and the guy's like giving him a third degree, like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
"I'm the guy paying for the jackets. Hello."
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything behind the scenes, little secrets about the greatest American hero?
William.
Anything behind the scenes? There are so many things behind the scene. We only had a very short run, 3.5 years. And Dennis, you were always there. Chuck, you were there.
Yeah.
So often. I don't know. It was just, I think it was something that Steven naturally cultivated on all of his shows. Everyone became a family. It was a family in it. And it wasn't just when we were working and on stage. It was off screen too. That's the most important thing that I walk away from that show, is that I'm still friends with so many of the people to this day,
Right. Yeah, that's a special thing.
What's everybody's happiest moment with Steven? Really a moment that stands out that makes you smile or makes your heart feel good.
I got to go first on this one. Stephen J. Cannell said something to me that I will never forget. We were talking, and we were talking about, having fun or whatever. And Stephen told me, "Why grow up when you can make movies?" And that was so special to me because it was so true. I mean, I would never grow up because I could make movies. And speaking of making movies, Chuck, you gave me my first acting part.
Well, you deserved it.
on T.J. Hooker. That's what you said to me. I was a desk sergeant on T.J. Hooker that you directed, and you gave me the part. And I told you, I said, "Chuck, thank you for this part." And you said to me, "Well, it wasn't charity. You deserved it." Yeah. And I never forgot that. And from that part on T.J. Hooker that you allowed me to work on, thank you so much. Acting kicked off from there, and been acting ever since. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you. Extraordinarily, thank you, man. God bless you. Now, somebody else can have their little moment with their, to make them smile about Steven.
Well, I've got a couple of stories. First of all, and you started this. First of all, it was wonderful to be around Steven. You have never met a more positive, grateful human being in our business than Stephen J. Cannell. He used to say to me, Chucker, we're living a dream, man. We're living a dream.
Why grow up?
Isn't that right, Dennis? Didn't he say stuff like that?
Yeah.
You're living a dream.
Yeah.
And, when and all of us have gone to lunch with Stephen or dinner, and you follow him into a room, and of course he was always 3 or 4 steps ahead of you, and heads would turn. I mean, he was a major celebrity in Hollywood. And of course he'd wear Elvis Presley coats and things like that. God, the stuff. You look like a Goonie bird sometimes. I'll tell you, it was fun. But he enjoyed every minute of his life, his professional life, and his personal life. He enjoyed it. You know, the last time I saw him. By the way, I don't know if you can see this. I'll put this up. This is the last. That's the last picture I ever shot of Stephen. He was playing one of the authors on the Castle series.
Oh, the Castle.
And,
yes.
yeah, and he loved being there with the authors. These very popular and famous authors. He was one of them.
Oh yeah.
He worked hard on it. He worked hard, and toward the end, it was difficult for him to remember lines and all that. But he never stopped. He'd struggle with it, and he was embarrassed by it. But he always came through. Always the handsome and gracious man that he was any other time in the, I don't know, 40 some years of his life that I knew him.
Yeah.
And he, as I said in his eulogy, Stephen didn't, I mean, the people around him were not his friends. He loved these people. Right. And it didn't matter whether you were, you know, a gopher or one of the stars of the show. He was so happy to have you there. And he loved people.
Yeah.
Nobody like him.
That's right.
And one thing he always used to say, like when he had William Catt on the show and Michael Pare, and he likes to say that they're golden. They're golden. Yeah. That's like one of his beautiful words when he finds an actor that's just golden. It just lights him up. Yeah. You know, I've had iconic moments, I would like to call them, in my career. There are 3 of them. There's more, but the 3 ones that stick out the most is when I got a chance in '79 to meet James Cagney and sit with him, just me and him, for 20 minutes. It's a long story. I won't tell it. That was iconic. It was incredible. And the other one was I ended up being on the Johnny Carson show and blowing up Johnny Carson when I'm like,
you sure did.
All right? Blowing up Johnny Carson is kind of iconic if you check the book of iconic.
Yeah. And then here's the third one. It's when I went to the Paramount Studios when we were in the middle of shooting The Greatest American Hero. And I went upstairs and Stephen J. Cannell and Alex Beaton stared at me like, wow, you're still alive. And I'm going like, what's going on? We just saw dailies. And when we saw you fly into the billboard, Stephen said in the dailies, he looked at Alex and said, I think we just killed Dennis. And so we're about an hour from leaving because we got to go back to Pasadena and shoot more stuff on the pilot. Right. So I had my car at Paramount and all my stunt bags and stuff. So Stephen was in awe of how I'm still alive. I flew headfirst into a billboard and a brick wall, and ABC Studios wanted to know what hospital to send the flowers to the stunt guy that killed himself. But Stephen was so excited. He goes, "Hey, let's go to. You want to jump in my limo? I'll give you a ride to Pasadena to the set." And I got my car at Paramount and I got my stunt bags, but I was not about to turn down a ride with Stephen J. Cannell in his limousine. Yes. And so I jumped in and he talked to me all the way there. And it was just an incredible, iconic moment that I could be with him in the backseat with the limo. As soon as I got to the set, I had to get transportation to get me back to Paramount so I could get my car and get my bag and get back to Pasadena.
You did the right thing, Dennis.
Yeah. I wasn't going to turn that down. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, can we just jump over to Chris there for a second?
Yes. Where is he? We haven't seen Chris. There's no picture of him here.
He's here. He's just.
Well, I haven't. Where?
Hold on, give me a second. He's muted.
We saw him a while ago.
I haven't seen him.
He's here. He's just.
Yeah. Was I muted?
Hey,
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah,
man.
there you
But
are.
you wasn't there.
I don't know. You guys just shut me up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Chris, oh boy, every time I see you,
I
you
think-
know, I think
I'm
about
always looking for you in the on the screen, you know,
Yeah.
on television or in movies. I'm going,
Yeah, thank God I did it.
And I see somebody goes, no, that was Alex. He's too.
Yeah.
But
Thanks God I got to do it. Thanks to Chuck. I got to start
I
acting.
know. But we go back to Stephen. He kind of spoiled me for any other production and producers that I had worked from afterwards, because he had such a high standard. I saw, because the way he treated his crew and his company, and like Dennis says, you could just feel the love in his heart and everything. That I worked for other people, and it's like they couldn't stand up, because it's like things go from the top down. And if you're working on a show or working for a company and things don't seem to be working right, you can always tell why. It's because the people up top, they don't seem to have your best interests, and Stephen did. And that's my feeling from him, and he's given me, this is what he gave me. So I always, when I was running shows or coordinating with him or away from him on other companies, I tried to emulate what would Stephen do? How would he treat people?
Right.
So he was a big influence, I'm sure, to a lot of people. But for me, this is how he influenced me the most. He was the man to look up to and to emulate when it comes to dealing with people. Because our business, no matter what we do, fall down, say words, whatever, we're dealing with people and different personalities. And everybody's different. And he had a way of just making everybody, and he surrounded himself by more like-minded people, which is also a key to happiness.
Oh yeah.
So this is why I'm so grateful for being able to, and honored to be able to build my career with the help of Dennis, brought me on, and then the rest was, like they say, history.
History.
I think Stephen was the example for how to live a life too. I learned so much. I mean, I was a few years older than Stephen, but I learned so much just being with him. He had a forgiving heart. I mean, I saw instances where somebody would wrong him and it would upset me greatly. And I'd mention something to Stephen about it, and he'd say, "Oh, no, that'll never happen again. Don't worry about that. Dear friend. He was a great example, a great teacher, whether he knew it or not. And he couldn't spell his own name. I mean, I can't tell you. I think everybody that's got it's on screen here has witnessed how Stephen can misspell names. He'd be signing a book, and he'd have somebody named Alice. He'd turn to me and he'd say, "Is that with an X?" I said, "No, that'd be Alex." Alice and A, so forth. He was pretty funny. He was pretty funny.
When I
Go ahead.
of Stephen, I think, and for many years, I think of how I would like to be, to walk the earth with truth and honor, because he glowed with truth and honor. And if I could be just part of the full that he was, that would be a beautiful life.
Yeah.
It would be. And by the way, I think I could speak for probably most of us here. These are just not accolades because our dear friend is gone.
Right.
This was Stephen.
Yes.
And we all know that when he passed, there was a gaping hole in all of our lives and on our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so William, what is a good one of those stories about Stephen that you remember that warmed your heart and that you remember? I know there's more than one, but if you had to pick one.
Well, it's kind of known history. I was at times a little bit cantankerous on the set of Greatest American Hero.
Really?
Everybody would attest to that. But he was very forgiving and always loved me.
Yes, he did.
And he was certainly, I think I can say this with all honesty, other than my father, because I've said this silently, other than my own father, Stephen had the greatest impact on my life of probably any man that I've ever known, outside of my father and a few other friends. But certainly Stephen is the watermark that he left in my life was very, very high.
Yeah.
I always say give thanks when I'm saying my prayers and talk about him and say thank you, because it was indelible what he left with me. I'm not going to turn this into a downer, because there's certainly things that were tragic in Stephen's life, but there were times that were sorrowful, that he showed tremendous courage that I could never have mustered. And it filled my heart, and it left it was tremendous. I'm not going to recount this. Chuck, you were there. You're one of his best friends, and Dennis and everybody here knows of which I speak.
Yes.
But he was just, he was magic. He was truly a magical character.
Yeah, he was. You nailed it, Bill.
Yeah.
How can you compare Steven to any other producers?
There's no comparison between
I
Stephen and anybody else ever in show business.
Right.
I worked with Aaron Spelling quite a few times, and Aaron was always lovely to me, but there was a difference. I don't know what it was. It was just something. Steve had heart. That's all I can say. And other producers I've worked for did not have the heart that Stephen had.
You know, one thing I felt around Stephen was when he was in the room, the air was different for some reason. I mean, as I'm thinking back on it, as I remember, if he wasn't around, the air was there, of course, but the air was a little, you could breathe a little better or something. I don't know, but it was just something in the air that was pleasant, and you liked to be around him.
Yeah.
You really did.
And Stephen liked you and others, all of us, to be around him. I think he fed off of us, each of us, and he was always so complimentary to each one of us. When he, as Bill would attest, he became a part of our lives. And I'll tell you a quick little humorous story. So this was before Stephen had written his first script, which was sold to Adam 12, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first job at Universal. So we were out, and Stephen had his hair always very slicked down, had a slicked down look. And I had a hairstylist, male hairstylist. And I suggested, Stephen, why don't you, try this? If you don't like it, you can correct it with some time. So he went to this guy, Tony, and when he came out, his hair was this big bouffant, and it was like his pants were on fire. He was so afraid to go home. He said, "Marshall will kill me," And of course, we know as he became successful, he had a guy or a gal there every day putting that together for him, and he was tremendously handsome man.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He definitely was, for sure. Yeah, it's for sure. And also, Chris, every time I see you, I think about that car we were in on 10th Speed in Brown Shoe, where we were playing the police officers, and we were supposed to see Ben and Jeff's car go through. We're in the alley, and Ben and Jeff's car go by the mouth of the alley, and we're supposed to come out, turn on the red lights of the police car, turn out, make a left, and follow Ben and Jeff because they were speeding, and we were supposed to make a left at the first left. You want to talk about how that turned out, Chris? I remember that stunt car very well.
I came out of there okay because I had a visual on him. I saw him going, but what it was I didn't know. We talked about it, but somehow things got kind of messed up because sometimes you get in a hurry.
Yes.
But it wasn't something like a high fall or a fire burn where it was important to know exactly what you're doing, but there was a little more wiggle room in this type of situation because I'm chasing these people. So I figured, now when I catch up to them, do I go right or left after we get behind them?
Right.
And then as I'm going down the road, I go, well, I just follow them.
Right.
So that's what I said. I go, which way are they going? What are they doing? Because anyway, so we went down there and we went down to the end of the street, made a hard right.
Right.
To chase them, and that's when your eyes got big and everything.
Yeah, it got.
I remember saying when we ran out of the shot and they said cut, you turn to me and you go, "I'll ride with you any day." I never forget that.
I tell people to this day, Chris, you handled that car. My butt was in that car, and you saved us both, buddy. You know, and I love it. I tell people, like I said, I will ride with you any day.
Yeah.
You know, you did it, man. You really did.
Dennis, Stephen Bowman says, yo, Dennis, what's going on?
Stephen.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Oh, really? All right. Yeah. All right. Yes, indeed. Oh, Chuck, you had said something about Stephen not being able to spell words, and I thought about something that we haven't talked about. Stephen was also a novelist, and he wrote he wrote 18 books.
That's
and
right.
I am extremely proud to say I read all of them.
Yeah.
And Stephen, his talent for writing dialogue just blew me away. Some of the things he would say, and his characters, he would make his characters say, it would fit the character, but it would be so perfect, but it would be a little off center, but it would be great.
Yeah.
His talent for just writing dialogue was just absolutely amazing. But yeah, I read
By the
all
way,
18. Yeah.
By the way, he should have gotten co-written credit to Grace Gercio, because there was no one that could read or understand what Stephen would write in his original draft. You'd hand it over to Grace, and she would interpret it. I think, Bill, did you notice that in some of the material that you got?
Yeah, we did.
Right.
But it was great. What used to astound me with Stephen, that he told me he would get up early in the morning. He was a very early riser, as I recall, and he would write 15 pages of script before he would come to work to the office.
Ow. 15 pages.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. I mean, I've done a little bit of writing. I'm lucky if I can get 3 or 4 pages done in an entire day. But he would do that before we go and take care of business at the office of the.
That's like before the cup of coffee kind of thing. Yeah.
I would often arrive at the studio at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Cannell's limo was already there, and he had already written at home those 17 pages. And then he would come to the studio and spend the whole day and into the evening running the studio. He'd be in bed by 8 o'clock, and he'd start the routine, and he loved it. I never heard him complain about it. He looked happier than Chris right now.
And he worked out, and he tended to his family, and he loved Marcia.
Yes, he did.
He was a great family man. It was amazing that he was able to do all of that in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Does he have any kids?
That's right.
I ran into him. He was jogging in Santa Monica more than once in the middle of the day. And they stopped for a second and say, hey, Steve, hey, Chris, how you doing? I'm doing good. And then I just let him be because he's doing his thing, you know.
Yeah.
He loved it down there by the beach. He really loved it.
Yeah.
And it showed in some of his novels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because in his novels, I think his Shane Scully novels, Shane Scully lived at Venice Beach.
He lived on. I thought he lived at Santa Monica, right off the boardwalk there, a couple blocks from us.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I got out of reading those.
Yeah.
They should all be made into movies.
Oh, absolutely. That's
They're amazing. I don't know why nobody has done anything like that.
funny you said that. I
Gotta
would
be made.
always think that. Even not only his Shane Scully novels, some of his standalone novels, like I think his first novel was The Plan, which was his stuff is, they all should have been made into movies. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. You know,
Yep.
I couldn't understand why not.
Has the movie business changed from today?
I think the pandemic.
Question again, please.
Has the movie business changed a lot as of today?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, it's not the same world. I mean, it's a digital world. It's numbers. It's, code.
Yeah.
And so, how the actors, the world that they live in, when we were doing it, if you were at somebody's nice home, you were at somebody's nice home.
Right.
I mean, but today you've got a green screen, and you've all witnessed that. And the people that you're working for, you may never see.
Yeah.
It's all by phone and attorneys.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the way I see it.
Yeah. And you can make a movie, a major motion picture on your telephone now.
Oh yeah.
So you could, it's technology is so far advanced than when we were doing it. It's amazing. Technology is really leaps and bounds now, and it's not finished yet.
How much pain did you get in, Dennis, jumping out of cars and running over?
$25 and some craft service.
Yeah, that's right, Kyle. That's right.
No, it's never about the money. It's just doing fun stuff, and being appreciated for doing crazy stuff. Have a method to the madness. Make sure you get home. Make sure you get everybody on the set home, and just keep making friends on the journeys. On every set you go, there's more friends to make that will be friends for the rest of your life. So just keep the journeys going, keep making friends. And I mean, that's what really counts. It's fun going on a set and doing stunts. Being a stuntman is probably the most fun thing because the crew is the one that works, 80 hours a week. I show up and I jump off a building, I go home and everybody's happy. But the crew works so hard. And I always appreciate the long hours that they always put in,
Right. I mean, speaking of you jumping off buildings, I don't remember the name of the movie, but you did a high fall and you were doubling John Savage. Wait, what was that movie where he went up at the beginning, he goes up on the roof, I think it's in New York, and then he jumps out this window?
Yeah, that movie. Yeah.
Double him, and you're on the way down grabbing tree limbs and all this.
That was a movie called Inside Moves.
Inside.
And
that was
the director was Richard Donner.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got a call, and it was going to be a world record high fall, 152 feet. I think the highest I ever jumped before that was 70 feet. Mm-hmm. And they said, how much money would you want? And they were bidding it out to other stunt guys. So I asked back then a ridiculous amount. I asked for $10,000. Mm-hmm. That's like $100,000 now, right?
Yeah.
So I asked for something I thought they wouldn't accept. I get a call like 2 days later, you're doing the jump. Mm-hmm. And suddenly reality hit. I only jumped 70 feet. Now I got to do
Double.
150 through a tree into a small airbag. But I was ready for it. But at the time, I was in the middle of doing 10 speed and brown shoe. And with Steven and Chuck and Alex Beaton, and it was fun. And suddenly, I was leaving that fun job for one day and really risking my life, because at that time, a stuntman went through an airbag and passed away. So we weren't sure about the airbags anymore. But that was the movie. I went there, and I remember I stepped on the ledge and the cameras jammed.
Ooh.
And so I had to go back. Yeah. So I had to go back in the window. And when I did, there was like 2,000 people down below, real civilians, and they all started booing me, like, "Oh, you chicken, boo."
You didn't
And I
know.
was like, "Oh no, now I got to jump." And I got people booing at me.
Booing.
And then they're rolling again. I step on the ledge, and I put my arms like this to the crowd, to please stop yelling at me. And they did. They gave me that moment of silence. And as soon as, you could hear a pin drop, I jumped. I didn't want the crowd to start to, yell again. But the fall went good. And I had Chris Doyle there, all my great people. They kept me safe and alive. And I remember coming off the airbag. We were all so happy and hugging. And Dick Donner, who I didn't know, he was pretty famous even back then, just hugged me, and he wouldn't let me go. He was crying, because what I didn't know was 2 days before I jumped, he had a dream that the stuntman that did that jump was killed.
Oh,
so
wow.
He didn't want to meet me. He didn't want to meet me before the jump. I dealt with the ADs and everyone. So he was hugging me. He never let me go. Like 10 minutes, tears. And then I found out the story. Now I know why he didn't want to meet me before. But that was weird. So I'm glad I didn't know about his dream.
Yeah. Well, the jump looked great. I love you. It looked like grabbing the tree limbs and stuff. I said, oh my, that was great. Looked good.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there was another question I had here. Kyle, you got it? I had another one and I totally forgot what it was.
Let's see what I got. How will Steven be remembered? Did we already ask that?
No. Yeah. Chuck, how do you think Steven will be remembered?
Oh, he's remembered. As Bill said early on, those that Steven spawned in his professional life are still active and still out there, and another generation has popped up since then too. Yeah. So it'll be a long time. I'm not sure Steven will ever be as credited for how much he created, how many television shows. Somebody once told me that as an independent creator, he was the most prolific creator in television history up to that time. In the height of his success, Steven covered the deficits on the shows that he produced, which was a big gamble, which was a huge gamble. They had to be successful. They had to be on for so long, or he'd lose money. He never complained about it, ever complained about losing money at any time. And I don't know that, it's a pretty successful legacy. I think he sold Cannell library, I think, to Ron Perlman.
Okay.
And then Perlman sold it to 20th Century Fox.
Mm-hmm.
A few years later, Steven went to 20th Century Fox and said, listen, what's happening with my library? I said, oh, it's in a vault, it's being protected. And he says, how about it if I give you, 10 cents on the dollar and purchase it back? And they said, well, they're not making any money now for us. And then he bought one of those digital cleaning machines, and he put every one of his masters through that thing, and he had a brand new business.
Oh,
I'm sure that's the reason why Greatest American Hero and some of these others are still playing out there somewhere in the world. It was bought from Stephen the second time.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, you were saying about how is he going to be remembered? For me and Chuck and William and Chris, just us four. I remember him. He's alive every day. I think of him all day long, every day.
that's true.
I live. I see his picture. I talk to him. I made these T-shirts with his name on the sleeve, and to keep the flag flying. I remember I sent a bunch to Marcia, his wife, and it's the hero logo, and on the sleeve it says Stephen J. Cannell, our true hero. Well, Marcia sent me a letter saying, "Thank you for the T-shirts. I love them, especially the sleeve." It meant so much that she could see that he is still flying, and that's for forever. I just love him, and I know he's with us and he's guiding us on our journey, and I think I speak for all of us, William, and Chuck, and Chris, that you think of him every day, and hold him every day.
That's good point.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely our hero, Yeah.
Alex, you got any more questions for these amazing guys before we shut down the show tonight?
You know what? I just gotta say, you guys have been really special to me tonight, man. I mean, and seeing Chris's face, every time I see that face, it's like that stunt car, man. And you were driving that day. It was amazing. And one other thing,
You saying I lose you? Do I make you laugh?
well, wait a minute. Now, some people. No, I think we all will get that. That was amazing. No, I don't get that. What do you mean? I like that. It was good, man. It was good. By the way, you didn't you do Hang from a Helicopter in Dark Man?
No, I was coordinating that show with Sam Raimi, and I was coordinating. I was way too busy to dangle underneath that thing. I had to set that all up and make sure that those guys came home safely. Yeah.
Because that was a stunt I always wanted to do. I can't believe I wanted to hang from a helicopter as it flies over the city, and I'm afraid of heights. But when I saw that in Dark Man, I went, somebody's doing the stunt that I wanted to do. And somebody had told me, I didn't work on the show, but as I vaguely remember, somebody told me you had done it or coordinated or something.
I had two guys doubling Liam Neeson. It was Chuck Borden and Terry James, because Sam Raimi wanted him to be real animated, or else you just stick a dummy at the end of the thing. And it was very trying, even though they're all harnessed into it, to flail around like that because you're still fighting G-forces. So after the first day, I brought in a second guy so they could rotate, so we could keep the motion and the animation going and relieve each other. So it was interesting. And when I was in the Army, I was a helicopter mechanic. So I was very familiar with helicopters. So that's why when I did on Riptide, it all came second nature to be around helicopters.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the Army.
Riptide, another Stephen J. Cannell.
I know, Stephen. Yeah, I'm telling you.
The
house I'm in basically is the house that Steve built.
The house.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
I think of it all the time like that because my daughter met him we were at a screening and met him, and I've told her many times about Stephen and how hard he worked to get where he was, because she was an aspiring writer at the time. And I said, "You want to be a writer? You get up off your ass and you write. Because that's what he said he did. He just got up, he just wrote. That's how he got there, because he was dyslexic, I believe.
He was dyslexic, right?
So, I mean, come on, here's a man, he makes his livelihood with words, and he can't spell and gets it all mixed up. Now, that is a testament in itself right there.
He made his living at which could have been a handicap.
That he just went around and worked over, and it's something we all need to think about. And when we're looking down, when things look down, there's always somebody that got it worse than you do.
Alex,
Yes, sir.
there's still some time for you to do your helicopter stunt.
Well, I don't know. At 74, I think I'll leave that to these guys. Maybe we can let William Cat do one of those stunts.
Oh yeah.
You
Take
know,
over, take over Dennis's job, will you?
we worked a lot with helicopters in Greatest American Hero, and
Yeah.
I want to hand it to Chris and Dennis. They kept me safe, and I did a lot of stuff with helicopters there on that show.
Wow. All right. It did a blast doing this kind of thing, man. And you starring in a TV show and stuff. It's like, yes, I love it.
It was a blast. It was a great.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't say this to my agent or anything, but I don't know if some of you may feel this way too. I would have literally paid to do what we were doing in this business, working in this business. I would have paid. I wouldn't have told my agent, no, don't give me any money. Don't go tell the producer, oh, look, you don't have to pay me today. I'll do it for free. But I would have paid to do what we were doing. It's like Stephen J. Cannell told me, why grow up when you can make movies? You know.
Hey, William.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember one morning I was hanging from the helicopters from up above, and we wanted a close up of you, and I don't think we had a cable on you. You were just gonna be 5 feet above the ground. Tell that story. What happened?
Oh yeah. I remember the story well. I'm going to leave out some details. But, we were at Balboa Park, and we wanted to catch a close up. So I got to hang on to the helicopter strut, and they made like a little platform for me to lay on. But we didn't have time. It was the end of the day. We had to shoot quick, as is so often the case. And everybody, Chuck and Chris and Dennis knows this. For some reason, they leave the big stunts for the end of the day, and they get all the meat and potatoes before that. And so when the stunts come around, everything is like, hurry up, we're losing the light. We got to get this. And that was this case. And I got to run out there and hold on to this helicopter strut and fly around. And we didn't do just 5 feet. We got to actually fly up in the air.
Yep.
A bit. It was one of the great thrills of my life. And I was not cabled off. No.
Oh man.
So you really were.
Dennis, and I think you got in trouble afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should have.
I told the pilot, just hover around 5 feet. And he thought I said 500 feet.
Yes.
And you're up there,
Jesus.
man. With no cable.
You're a brave man, Bill.
And I wasn't cabled off. I was just hanging on. The pilot said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm not letting go, dude. I got it. I'm not letting go."
Yeah.
You really were the greatest American hero.
That was fun.
Alex, we got to close on the show, so.
Yeah. But hey, guys, hey, thanks, man. I mean, this is really a treat for me, man. It's an unbelievable treat, man. See all you guys, man. William Cadd, Dennis Danger, and Chuck Bowman, Chris Doyle. Man, you guys made my month, or maybe my year, man. After
Bringing us together.
Hey, God bless you, man. And God bless Stephen, man. And
God bless Stephen.
He's in the prayers, man. We won't forget him, man. And this is all for him, man. Thanks for coming around talking about him, man.
Absolutely, Alex.
Great to see you all.
Guys.
Bye, Chris. Bye, Chuck. Bye, Denny.
See you, boys.
Everybody.
Yes, guys. Thanks a lot.
Danger dog.
All right. Thank you.
Danger.
Good night. And Chuck, thanks a lot for hanging in there with us, because I know it's late over there, man. Thank you, man.
That's okay. Happy to be here.
Hey, guys.
Alex,
Yes, sir.
Love you, Chuck.
Monday night, we have a brand new show. Well, we don't have a show yet. We will have a show soon. So stay tuned for updates. Tomorrow night, we're bringing the live stage shows back. We're doing a virtual show. It's completely interactive. It's coming to bring it straight into your home. And it's gonna be fun. So there's still spots left. You can get them at ramsdenlive.com. Anything else on your side, Alex, before we close out the night tonight?
All right. I forgot we would do doing that comedy show tomorrow night. All righty. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot, man. And a really extraordinarily thanks to all the guys, man. Really love you guys, man. And we got to stay in touch and we got to do this again. Thanks,
Be
guys.
sure to watch,
Guys,
be
Yeah.
sure to watch Live with Con and Alex every Monday and Friday on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and good night, everybody.
Really appreciate it. Good night.
good night.
All right.